In 2013, Adelina and I and a few other people went to a conference on stem cell nutrition in Malaysia, and met a guy named Christian Drapeau, who's probably one of the foremost experts in stem cell nutrition in the world. He wrote a book called The Theory of Stem Cell Renewal, wasn't it, in 2001. And you got that book. And at the time he came under a lot of criticism from the medical people. I'm not a medical person, I'm a motor engineer by trade, but I was really interested in what he had to say, but there was a lot of criticism. But by the year 2013, when we went to that conference, that was actually the year of the stem cell, and he was sort of quite a celebrity by then, you know, and that actually discovered that all the stuff that he wrote in that little booklet about stem cells being the basic building block of the human body and able to transform into or differentiate and become any other cell in the body was all proved to be true. And so that was really interesting, getting the opportunity to meet him, and that in itself was a bit of a miracle, because was it the following year? Was it 2014? I can't remember. But anyway, I was driving a bus and pulled up at a bus stop, had school children on the bus, and the guy jumped on the bus. I think there were 3 assaults on bus drivers in that week, 2 in Melbourne and 1 in Ballarat, and I was the one in Ballarat, and proceeded to try and choke me. No particular reason. Apparently he had been done this sort of thing before, and anyway, that lasted quite a few minutes, and no one had ever tried to do that before. I didn't know what I was supposed to feel like, but I ended up doing the driving. He eventually got off the bus, and I did the rest of the bus run, and I knew there was something drastically wrong. There was a lot of swelling around here, but I knew there was something wrong with my lymphatic system. I just felt there was something drastically wrong. Anyway, I ended up driving the bus back to the depot, had to do another bus run down to Spencer Street to the station. I said to the boss, some guy jumped on the bus and tried to choke me on that bus run, and he said, well, you know, and he said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I feel okay, but I could feel there was something wrong, but, you know, other than that, I didn't really notice anything. And drove down to Spencer Street, drove back again, got back about 9:30 at night, which was about 4 or 5 hours after the assault. And he said, well, you better go to the emergency and get a bit of a check-up. They couldn't find anything wrong. They said, no, just a bit of soft tissue damage, you know, go home, you'll be right. And but that was the start of about 3 months of just gradually getting worse and worse symptoms, diarrhoea, vomiting, blacking out, all that sort of thing. At the end of that, or during that period, I had to stop driving buses. I couldn't drive, I couldn't do much at all. And then after about, and they continued to do a lot of tests, lots and lots of tests, and couldn't find anything. And then about 3.5 months later, they said, oh look, we've got the results back from this test, and you've got chronic leukemic lymphoma, and you'll be dead in 6 months, absolutely a maximum of 12, and there's no cure for it. And basically, you know, you have to start on this intensive chemo, but that won't fix it. You will die, it'll come back worse, and because at that stage, and there's still nothing that supposedly fixes it. And so I said to the guy, the oncologist, the guy who was explaining this to me, well look, you know, can I have a couple of weeks to think about it, and went home, and I could still basically function, but he said that the treatment that they'd have to give me, I'd be in intensive care for, if I lasted longer than 6 months, for at least 6 months out of the next 12, just to stay alive from the treatment. And I thought, well, I'm not in intensive care now, but just basically decided that I wasn't going to do it. Went down and saw a naturopath that we used to go to, and she said the same thing, nothing you can do, and confirmed the treatment. And on the way home from there, my daughter was driving me back home and didn't really know what I was going to do. I just knew I didn't want to have chemo or anything like that, because they said it wasn't going to, I would die rapidly anyway. And anyway, as we were going home, I just felt like I was going to black out, and just like, Gus said, oh, you better take me to a hospital or something, really wrong. And she took me to the hospital, and within 20 minutes I was in a coma. And that was nearly 3 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the last couple of days before I woke up, I could hear the doctors, but it was as clear as this is now. I can still describe the room and everything like that. I was able to tell them what they were saying to my family, and basically that I wasn't going to make it, and this might be as good as it gets, and all that sort of thing. And I was thinking, it was like I was talking to them. I was imagining, I was saying, well, yeah, I'm okay, I'll be all right, And but I was still in a coma, and then after I woke up, they told my family that this might be as good as it gets. I was paralysed, couldn't talk, couldn't do much at all. They did some scans. Was it the scans while I was in the coma, John? That I don't remember. I had ended up with an acquired brain injury, and John and Adeline have been friends for a long time. They sort of came and visited me, but at some stage they did these scans, and they said that 30% of my brain had died. There was nothing on the scan, and that was why I couldn't do very much. And anyway, I'd been after we met Christian Rapau, I'd started to take this stem cell supplement product back in 2013 for a previous back injury, and it really helped with that. Got better, and I was already taking these supplements, and then I didn't get the opportunity to say I wasn't going to have chemo because I never the couple of weeks that I asked for, never was in the coma by that time. Anyway, when I woke up after about a week, they were telling my family that I'd have to start. I couldn't start chemo now because it would kill me, and because I'd lost 21 kilos or something like that in the time that I was in the coma. And I was a lot like I probably was. I'm still now like probably 8 or 10 kilos lighter than I was, but I was just like skin and bone. And they said, oh, you can't have chemo, and I was sort of going like this, as they're trying to explain it to my family, and they're saying, oh, David doesn't understand, he won't be able to have chemo, which basically is like a death sentence, because nothing else will do anything, at least the chemo might slow it down a bit. And anyway, my wife said, oh no, I think he understands, and because I just didn't want to go that way. And so amazingly enough, they let me continue to take the natural supplements that I was taking in hospital until I got to rehab. Then they stopped me. But anyway, and I just took heaps and heaps of it, instead of taking like just a normal like maintenance dose, if you like to think of it that way. It's just natural. It's just like eating green veggies or whatever, and so I just started taking heaps of it. And when I got to rehab, they said, "Oh, you can't have any of that. You've got to have our supplements and all that." And so I asked them to. I said, "Oh, what do you have to do to get permission to take something like this?" And they said, "Oh, look, it takes months and you have to go through this whole process." And I said to this guy, "Oh, you might as well start," because I had no idea how long I was going to be in hospital. I said, "You might as well start the process." About 20 minutes later, he came back and he said, "You can take that stuff." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Oh, I went and saw the guy, he actually met him in the hallway, the guy who looks after the diets and the medicines and all that sort of stuff for oncology people, with cancer." And he said he knew those particular supplements that I was taking, and he said, "No, you can take all them." And he even wrote it on my med sheet, so the nursing staff had to give me a particular, amount of all these supplements, and they couldn't work it out either, but anyway, it was on the med sheet, so they had to do it. And so I was in hospital for about another 8 weeks, I think, in rehab. And but they didn't even get to time government. They didn't even get to give me any exercises or anything like that, because by the time they got themselves organised to give me a rehab program, and then they did an assessment, and they said, "Oh, you're already past what we can do for you anyway," because I got to the stage where I was walking, even sort of fast walking and jogging around the place, and yeah, so it was great, you know, and I just put all that down to the stem cell supplements, and over, they did lots and lots of tests before I went out of the hospital, and my lymphocyte level for technical people was up at about, I think it was 18 or something like that. Normal's anywhere between 1 and 5, which is, it's a measure of the cancer cells in your lymphatic system, in your bloodstream. And 18 is you're going to be dead in not very long. And so, but over the next 11 months, that level came right down to 1, which is at the low end of normal. And then it sort of, you know, fluctuated around between about 1 and 2.5. And I had to go back for some. They wanted to see me every week, so I had to keep going into the hospital. And then after about 11 months, the levels were right down, and they did scans and a whole lot of other stuff. And I saw the head oncologist, and he said, look, now that your lymphocyte levels are, you know, right down there, he said, that's really good. He said, I don't know what you're doing, but, you know, should be happening. But anyway, he said, that's good. He said, now you have to have chemo, you know, because your body can handle it now. And so I'm thinking, no, you know, and anyway, and I don't know, am I allowed to, look, the doctors get paid an absolute fortune by the drug companies to, you know, administer this, but I can talk to him about that. And anyway, he said, I know you have to do that. And I said, look, if I come in here with all these, you know, the test results, the scans, the MRIs, CT scans, and the blood tests and everything that you've got on your desk today, and you didn't know anything about my medical history, because he'd been there since day one, since I was admitted, and since the diagnosis. They called him in after they eventually, you know, found this in the cancer. And I said, you know, if I had all that stuff that you've got there on your desk today, and you didn't know anything about my medical history, would you diagnose me with cancer? And he looked me straight in the eyes, he said, no. And I said, well, if I wouldn't even be diagnosed with cancer the way I am now, why should I start chemo, you know? And he said, yeah, look, I can see where you're going. And he said, look, I'll see you in 4 months. And that was like a miracle to me, because like previously he wanted to see me every week because I might be around the next week, you know. And so he said, I'll see you in 4 months. But 2 months later, but he said he will come back. He said he'll come back more aggressive, and he said this is he said it's just a cyclic thing, you know, and I looked at the graph, and, you know, it was going down like that, the levels there wasn't one, you know, regression, it was just every month it was lower, every week. And I said, well, look, you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm an engineer, but I said, that doesn't look like a cycle, it looks like a trend, you know. And he said, no, it's a very long cycle, you know, so it'll come back up, you know. And but he said it will come back in other ways, and you end up with dying from something else. It wasn't particularly positive, because that's what it does, it destroys your immune system. And the same as chemo does. Most patients who have chemo don't die of cancer, they die of an unrelated cause because it's destroyed their immune system in their body, and they catch pneumonia or whatever. I had pneumonia, and I had, what else did I have? Pneumonia and some avian bird flu or something. And when I was in the coma, that's when they discovered all this, and I was basically fading away, and then they started treating me for, I think, the bird flu and some other thing, and I started to get better. Yeah, that's right. And so that was that. And but after 2 months, he called me up before the time. It was supposed to be 4 months, and he said, "I was wondering that he could come in to the hospital." And I said, "Oh yeah." And I said, "Well, what's it about?" And he said, "Oh, we've got the results from those scans that we did at the time when I was discharged." And he didn't tell me much about it. Went in there, and he said, "Oh, look, not good news." He said, "You've got 14 tumours, you know, all through your body from all the stuff that's been circulating over that period of time. Liver, kidney, spleen, stomach, all my lymphatic glands in my neck, my groin, my tummy, basically everywhere. The ones under my arms were like as big as golf course, and I knew there was some swelling there, but it was just like It wasn't sore, so I didn't worry about it. The reason it wasn't sore is because it was cancer, and if it was sore, it would have been better. But anyway, so he said he does that, and he said, so now you have to start chemo. This is like the third. Now this is not chemo, and so I said, no, look, I've just done natural stuff from, right from the start, and I'm just going to keep doing that. And I think it was about a year. That's right. And so he offered me to go on a clinical trial of some bacterial stuff. He said, I know you want to go on chemo, but we've been offered this trial, and I was quite comfortable about that, so I did that, and kept on doing the natural stuff. About halfway through this trial, they said, you've got to stop all this natural stuff, because it's upsetting our trial results. And I was the only one who wasn't having any side effects. So it's like 28 listed side effects and every time they'd say, are you getting this and vertigo and imbalance and blacking out and diarrhea and vomiting and all the stuff I had when I was sick. And no. In the end, they just said, don't have to write any of that, do we? No, that costs all that. And so it's just like, we have to ask you this question, but we just ask it all at once, I said, no, it's nothing, it's just like drinking water. Anyway, during that trial I got it got better and better, and after about 12 months, I think it was, lots more scans, and I just refused to have any more scans. I said, I'm not going to have any more, because the results are just getting better. And but by the last scan, they couldn't find one tumour anywhere. They said there was a little black mark under this arm in the lymph gland, but even the oncology guy said, I don't think that's cancer. He said, I think it's where they did the biopsy, and that was the only place they did when I was in a coma. They did a biopsy just after I woke up, but around about that time to check what was going on there. And nothing. Yeah, that's right. And I learned to. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with me now. Yeah, but no, they said it was only like 60 or 70% brain function, and then I had to have all sorts of tests to get my bus licence back, and all sorts of psych analysis and all that sort of stuff, and they reckon it's back to about 98% now, so no real evidence of, so which has been great. It's available online, and Adelina originally invited me to go to Malaysia all those years ago, and I don't know the progression, but anyway, Christians later on started up another company which deals with the same sort of products, and
we'll play a video.
Yeah, we can play it. Adelina can play it.
What the product, what does it do, how does it work, and where do you get it? We can order it online. We're going to show you later.
Yeah, there's a couple of different products I was taking. One was one which helped clean out sort of rubbish and the fibre emission in the bloodstream to let my stem cells get to where they were supposed to be going, and another one which helped the body produce and release more stem cells. Because as you get older, your body doesn't release as many stem cells into the bloodstream, partly because of our our diet, our Western diet, and poor nutrition and all that sort of thing. But basically it's just good nutrition, and particular plants help our body release more stem cells, and probably years ago, when we had a much better diet, we were eating more of that stuff. But we don't now, so...
it gets more difficult now.
Yeah, that's right. But it's been amazing, and so...
there are only certain types of plants that do that job.
Yeah.
Not many plants that release stem cells, so they found those ones.
Yeah.
They've done lots of studies on it, and they've combined it and found the compounds that do that and made it more concentrated. So the scientists have already specially made these special to work together properly. Synergistically, there's 3 different products that work together synergistically to make the stem cells go the way the body needs to get to and repair the body. So we've got the video at the end that explains how each one's work together.
Well, it certainly worked for me, and I was taking a lot of it, and over that 11-month period, and the only side effects that I could say that I noticed were good ones, and I suppose the only negative one that I could notice was that I was tired. And I had to take like lots of nutritional supplements and good food and to get my energy back. But I think my body was just working so hard to heal itself, and I was starting to probably do more than I should have, which might have had something to do with it. And so that's about it.
Is it expensive?
You're a miracle.
Nowhere near as expensive as
Well, what would it cost
alternative.
for about a year?
Look, I think on a maintenance sort of dose it was sort of like a couple $100 a month. But when I was really sick, I probably took 3 or 4 times that. So maybe it cost 10 grand to stay alive. I don't know, but I think it's
Well worth it.
a lot more than that. And the alternative, there weren't too many. There was lots of suggestions, but there was only 3 people. One of my daughters, Adelina, and one other person who actually said, "Don't do chemo." I'd already decided, but the rest of my family and everyone else said, "Well, you're going to die, Dave. Why wouldn't you do it?" And I'm going, "Well, no, I'm not going to die, and I'm certainly not going to die from chemo." And so it was really great.
Were you threatened that if you don't take chemo, that they don't
Well,
guarantee anything?
Not really, because there was sort of they got a one of the senior nursing staff who had been looking after me to ring me up at home after I told them I'd decided in a couple of weeks, and she rang me up about a week later and said, "Dave, you really need to think about this carefully," and gave me a bit of a talk on why I should do it. And I thought, well, you're on commission, but that's a cynical way of looking at it. I still do believe she really, cared, and she probably didn't know of any alternative. But the blessing was that I really didn't get the chance to say no, and I later on found out that if I had refused treatment, I would have been off, a lot of care, and no chance of rehab or I was put on invalid pension because they said my life expectancy was less than 2 years. And I said, "Well, I'm going to live more than 2 years, what happens then?" And they said, "Well, there's no other box we can fit you in because when you've got CLL, you die. That's it, there is no cure." And they put me on that, and I later found out that if I'd refused treatment, I wouldn't have been on that either. So it would have been, financially there would have been a lot of ramifications, but I never knew about any of those. I wasn't really worried about that. It's just, So, am I allowed to answer questions?
Well,
We
you're a
got
walking miracle.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I'm a massage therapist and I'm in health technology now, trying to do some stuff to help some other people. But one of my massage clients gave me this. After
That's been
I
gross.
went back and started to do some massage for her for the first time, and she went over to a cupboard and pulled this out. She said, "I've got this for you," and I just burst into tears and thought, well, isn't that good? Because at one stage I never thought that I'd be able to do anything to help anyone again. I just, I suppose I believed I would, but maybe, it's sometimes hard to believe that stuff when you can hear the staff in the hospital saying exactly the opposite, and trying to think, well, no. So,
It takes a lot of courage
That's
to
right.
stand against them.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
their motto is that they've learned and they must obey that there is a protocol for
Yeah.
every case, every
Yeah, that's
patient.
right.
And if you refuse that protocol, then you're on your own.
Yeah. Well, the doctors have taken the hypocritical oath.
It is so ridiculous.
Oh, hypocrite. Did I say that wrong?
I think you said it right.
And the protocol is so ridiculous that, for instance, anyone can say that if the patient's got a blood pressure 120 over 80, unfailingly through the life and in the hospital, but protocol says that it will, if they lower the blood pressure, as protocol says, it will prevent them from having stroke or something like that.
Yeah.
So they do that, and then they have to turn the patient upside down to get blood to the head,
that's right.
and they say, he must be allergic to it or something like that. Ridiculous as that. I've gone through this.
That's it's so true. Sorry.
So, do you know the comparison with Paramount and what the protocols that you were on?
I know quite a bit about the treatment that they do in Panama. Actually, George could probably give you a little bit more information on that, because I recall a while ago here you showed a series called The Truth About Cancer, and in there there was quite a bit of information about the treatments in Panama, but there's a lot available on the internet about that, because they've had lots of success with natural products, but it'll cost you a lot more than 10 grand to go to Panama and have that sort of treatment. You know, whereas it's really focused on good nutrition and introduction of adult stem cells into the body. We all produce stem cells, it's just that they don't all get where they're supposed to be going. Some of the chemical messages that our body sends doesn't get through because of poor circulation and other. And the other aspect of it is that we, over our bones and our bone marrow, we end up with a bit of a mucousy sort of substance as we get older that doesn't let the stem cells migrate out into the bloodstream like they should. And so if you do something about both those things, some great things are going to happen. Like, I think the stuff that that I was taking, I can't remember, but it's like millions, like 20, 30 million stem cells released within hours. You know, if you get stem cell, I've had a lot to do with people with racehorses. They get stem cell injected into knees and joints and all that sort of thing, and they might inject, you know, 25 million stem cells into an animal, and they do the same thing for humans in hips, you know, and knees, and generally the effect of that will last for about 3 to 4 months. And then there'll be, you know, regression, because if your body's not producing enough stem cells to counteract the degradation that's going on in there, well, it will, you know, so it'll be a temporary relief. It's like having a cortisone, except maybe a little more effective. Yeah, your body.
Interesting that those sort of clinics or institutes are outside of the US. It's the same with the Gerson Institute, which is all natural, possibly because the American US-based medical system doesn't want to tolerate.
Well, the TGA, it's sorry.
TGA here and FDA.
In the States have similar views, you know, because it's a Western medicine regime, and yeah.
How long did you end up taking these?
Well, I still take it. I only just, just sort of ran out of those products that I was using at the time, and Christian started up this other company that's continuing on, so I'm starting those now, and yeah, so just.
Okay, and did you take it in conjunction with Kion?
Yeah, that was what sort of gave me some energy to, you know, to keep going, because I found with my body just sort of healing itself, I was tired is probably about the only side effect, but I probably did try and overdo it once I got better.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Honestly, why didn't you tell me about the stem cells?
I did. We talked about it. You know, that was they were the nutrition products that I took to get rid of the cancer in the first place.
Okay, just that we didn't pass that on to Gilda.
Oh yeah, I talked to her quite a bit about it.
Oh, that's the stem cells as well as Kion.
No, I did. No, I did. I talked to her. That was probably when I was down at her place. Yes, I did mention that.
I just can't remember.
Yeah, no, that's right.
If I remember the Kion came later or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That was after about that 11-month period when I got to the stage when the lymphocyte levels were quite low. That was when I was starting to become active and be able to do a lot more. And I didn't know anything about the product they're talking about. Is a product that was developed in the States. It's a nutritional product, and we met a gentleman who was involved in the Asia Pacific sort of area, who where we were able to sort of source that from, and it actually gave me a lot of energy. It was really good. So that was great.
By the way, did you notice? Sorry. Who was first?
Wait, sorry.
The question is, how do you find yourself around new technology gadgets that we have that emit either radiation like Wi-Fi?
Look, no problems at all. I don't have any problems at all. Sort of, I know a little bit about that side of things, and there can be problems, but there are other technologies around that can sort of counteract that too.
So you measured your EMF levels?
No, I haven't personally, but I know that I've actually been involved in helping people who have electrosensitivity issues, and
It's one of the things that can trigger cancers and one of the things people don't measure.
No, it's I'm sort of aware of that. What they said figured it was the stress of the assault, and it was within minutes, like literally minutes. I took a photo of my neck with a mobile phone, and I knew that there was something because of my massage service training. I knew there was something wrong with my lymphatic system, straight away, just because of my body's response. And no one ever tried to choke me before, that I didn't know what it was supposed to feel like.
Have you tried any of the electromagnetic methods of stimulating stem cell production?
No, I don't know a lot about that.
Well, they also increase, one of the reasons for mentioning is they also increase energy production by about 500%.
Yeah.
There's a very rapid, so
Right, we'll have a chat to you about that after.
well, I put it in a stem cell generator.
Okay.
They're interested.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think we've got a cool.
Expensive. Cheap. $700. I'm not selling them. But I do run a website that explains how we work.
Oh, we better get some information.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
And these technologies are all synergistic, by the way.
Yeah.
You can't produce stem cells if you don't have good nutrition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So just because one thing works doesn't mean you can't try something.
No, exactly. No, I get that. I'm so glad that I found what I did. But look, I'm sure there's other ways of achieving the same result. But I'm also sure that they don't involve chemo.
Yes.
Is that? Oh, sorry.
David, could you give us an essay about the nutrition that you applied at the time of the worst?
It was doing lots of juicing, like I bought one of those, whatever they're called, magic something or others.
Yeah, bullet.
Yeah,
Nutribullet.
bullet and NutriBullet, and lots of juicing, lots of green veggies, lots of kale, lots of just whatever I could get in good organic fruit, and good nutritional supplements, as well as the ones that were specifically aimed at helping stem cell production. And that's all I did. Tried not to stay away from sugar as much as possible.
No more teasers.
I couldn't actually say that. Maybe not for a while.
And which ones, could you mention the foods that do promote the growth of the stem cells? You can remember.
Well, there's, I think Adelaine's going to show a video that will cover, the
Video
products that
explains.
that I used. But as we've heard over here, there's probably other ways of helping your body produce more stem cells. There's certainly ways of limiting it, but good nutrition is the key. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Alright, so we're going on to the long presentation, is it? Or do you want to do a shorty? Any of those? Or should we go straight on to the long one? Okay.
Got some testimony.
Alright. All inclusive? Would you like, please?
This video is recorded in